Folks, I have been unceremoniously dumped from UTISL. According to my application, I have been unceremoniously removed. And I expect to get an email shortly because I'm reporting on events in the news and truths that have been put out by the President of the United States. I don't know. But I know my live stream has ended. Apparently I'm still on YouTube. Wow. Yeah, folks. Where it is. People give up on me so easy. So easy. Hi, Bubba. How you doing? Melinda. Our Angel, Bill, Marla, Robin, Rain. Where did everybody go? Why did that happen to me? You know, that happened to me just before I got suspended. That was happening a lot. Remember? I remember. Of course I remember. But anyway, if you appreciate my struggles here on UTISL, and I know Rumble, most of the time I have to take back what my angst. I was criticizing setting up Rumble, but they keep the connection, for some reason. So I don't know why that happens to me. I don't know why. But I'm back, and I was talking about the portrait of Robert E. Lee, a giant in military history that we should not forget. And Donald Trump is making sure we don't forget. But people who have been raised to think that everybody in the South was behaving like the characters in Roots and not understanding the civilization and the culture of the South at that time, of course, think that he is the worst person in the world. Far from it. Far from it. He saved lives in the end. And he integrated, okay? Integrated. And promoted unity. So, anyway, I am looking for something to put up. All right, starting to fill back up again. Hi, Flannel Cheese. How you doing? Tammy, nice to see you. That's right, Melinda. They do not want the truth out. Darla's here. Todd's here. Yeah, I got restarted. Like I say, I'll give it a couple of tries, but they take me down, I don't know where my buy me a coffee little video is. But anyway, I've got a link in the description. Everybody who wants to help me out, help the channel out as I fight this battle. I was making fun of Jimmy Kimmel. I was doing a lot of stuff. Am I on a different live stream or is it a continuation of the other live stream? Because I'll have to do another thumbnail that says part 2. I do not know. We shall see. I think I got to do another thumbnail and lose half your audience. Yeah, and then they'll hit me with a warning. You know what? I'm going to really make them mad. I'm going to really make them mad. I'm going to rub their nose in the good man that they're making fun of and that they're joking around with what few friends they have, okay? Like I said, you get a phone booth and throw a birthday party and have room left over for as many friends as show up. But anyway, here's a nice little tribute to Charlie Kirk.
I remember driving around as a sophomore, junior in high school, listening to your radio program in the morning. Memorial, is that right? But I saw it. I remember saw it being simulcasted. Wow. And you said some very, I think, prophetic things there.
I know it. I have been looking for the next George Washington. I can't find him. He may be 8 years old, but this is the moment.
And now 18-year-old Charlie Kirk is saying enough is enough.
This is Charlie Kirk reporting from Marquette University.
I like ideas. I don't like politicians. I don't like parties. I like principle.
Do not go quietly when truth is on the line.
I mean, democratic socialism,
the people's social, it's socialism, which inherently means the following. It is immoral, it is evil, it is impractical when put in practice.
Do not surrender to the shadows.
But I'm here for the silent majority that is silent no longer, to give them the courage, confidence, and conviction to fight on campuses.
Even when, and especially if, you think the battle can no longer be won.
We're not going to allow the ruling class elites, the radical left, to continue to destroy this country from within. And we are a movement here that is growing by leaps and bounds.
Charlie Kirk lived that mandate.
And I believe that marriage is a beautiful thing. And I believe that having children is a moral good for society.
Biggest blessing.
Oh, without a doubt.
I don't think you know the impact. You say, oh, Glenn, you made an impact on my life. Do you realize the impact you're having on the country? Remember when I did the thing in Washington, D.C. and Restoring Honor?
I do.
And I said, somewhere in this crowd, maybe he's 7, maybe he's 15, somewhere in this crowd is the next George Washington.
And 25 years from now, he will come not to this stair, but to those stairs.
We want to overemphasize grace when in reality Christ loves us too much to have us continue to live in sin. He wants us to try to elevate our actions to glorify God in all that we do.
And he can proclaim, I have a new dream.
I just went to church for the first time in several years.
Today we went to church for the first time in a really long time. I've never ever opened the Bible before, and something was calling me to my husband's Bible.
Here's the line for the second service, and there's never a line.
Jesus of Nazareth. And the resurrection is the pinpoint of my belief that Jesus did rise from the grave so that we may live.
The light is dimming, yes, but it always does before the dawn.
That's from Glenn Beck, From the Heart. From the Heart, Charlie Kirk was 16 years old when Glenn Beck was on the mall saying, I wish I could find a George Washington in the crowd. I know there's one out there, and maybe it was the young Charlie Kirk. Young Charlie Kirk. We'll never know. We'll never know. Here's Donald Trump. Let's see which clip this is. He's doing an interview. He's traveled over to the UK. He's had all these ceremonies and meetings and signings. Let's see what he had to say during this interview.
So you talk about the hundreds of billions of dollars that have come in because of the tariffs. Would you consider, where's that money going to go? Would you consider giving it back to taxpayers while they wait for some of the things that you just talked about to kick in? Is that an option?
Politically, that's a nice thing to do, but you can do that and you can also pay down debt because we're talking about very big numbers.
So which do you like better?
Both, maybe. I mean, I could see both. I could giving something back.
Give something back from the tariffs. I believe that is been his consideration for a long time. Here's the other clip I wanted to show you, which will bookend the Charlie Kirk video I just played. Donald Trump's opinion of what could have been with Charlie Kirk.
Such a good guy. You know him probably very well. I assume you knew him very well, right? He was a great guy.
Not as well as you, but yes.
No, but he was a great person. Mm-hmm. He really was a great person. I actually said, Charlie, someday I think you have a good chance of being president. I think you will be president, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I think he would have had a great chance. He was very compelling. I've never seen anybody capture a group of people like he captured youth. He captured youth. It was incredible. You know, when I say he was a young guy, but I'm talking about the 20-year-olds and the 18-year-olds. It was like he had a following that was incredible.
He did.
Did you really, Sparky? You were there. You were there. And so was Charlie Kirk. That is interesting. Rain's here, Kim's here. Miss Mendersu. Ha ha. Gray made it back. Graybeard. Pappy Two Bears made it back. Who else made it back? Bill's here. Elva's here. Oh, I don't know where everybody else went. Oh, well, maybe they'll find me. Maybe I'll pop up in their feed. I don't know. Let me see. Let me get that first picture. I know this picture burns them up. Where is it? Oh, my goodness. Where is that picture I had? There we go. Now they're boycotting Disney, ABC. They will collapse under the weight of their own illegality. That's what we were told, wasn't it, folks? Speaking of illegality, here, Jasmine Crockett, Breitbart News reports, just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. It's like that bulletin board I saw. What did the guy put up there? He said, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Call the law offices of so-and-so, so-and-so. Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Now here's Crowder with Piers Morgan. And he's kind of got some regrets. We all look back and say, well, you know, what could I have done? Is there anything I could have done? Everybody experiences that when they lose someone they knew and respected.
As I was in that spot, I started it, and Charlie cited it as inspiration. If I could change one thing, and I do believe that I'm partially responsible for this. I've failed people. I've had to do a lot of soul searching. When I did change my mind and started in 2016, the idea was, hey, calling the left on their bluff, civil dialogue with anyone to the tune of billions of plays and hundreds of hours. And it got increasingly violent. And what I didn't tell people, I told people out there, go do this on your own campus, have these conversations. I advocated for it. And Charlie took it to another level. He was unbelievable at it. What I didn't do, I didn't tell people about the threats because I didn't want copycats. I didn't tell them about terrorists from Yemen through Sweden showing up in East Grand Rapids. I didn't tell them about concrete milkshakes. I didn't tell them about my tires getting slashed, about people trying to firebomb my car. And maybe if I would have picked up the phone, maybe if I would have used this megaphone to tell people it's real life out there and the left wants you dead, maybe Charlie would have had a fighting chance. Maybe I could have done more. Right now, I'll tell you this. I see a lot of people out there, Piers. See a lot of people out there talking about picking up that microphone. And I hope people do, because the alternative is silence. But I want people to know that wherever that microphone is and whoever thinks about picking it up, you are in the crosshairs. People say bring down the temperature. Okay, how about we bring down the temperature to doing something like, I don't know, sitting down at a table and allowing anyone with a thought or opinion to discuss it rationally? Would that bring down the temperature? Because they took his life anyway.
Listen, I know you knew Charlie Kirk well.
No, it's not going to bring down the temperature. Discuss things rationally. That's what you said. These people are irrational. Irrational. This is what I'm going to play on a loop at the beginning of my video right here. I'll put it on a loop now. There you go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jimmy Kimmel. Bye-bye. One more time. Get out of here, you bum. Get out of here. So anyway, while Jimmy Kimmel is wondering what he's going to do for a living, Dan Scavino put up another post. Boy, those were the days. Carriage-drawn horses. I was going to get a team of mules and a cart and go into town. Well, even one mule. Take me into town with my big straw hat, my big beard. Couple of fox pelts hanging off the back of the wagon. Don't go in and trade my fox pelts. But anyway, here's the President of the United States in a carriage procession. I guess it was filmed by Dan Scavino.
That was so awesome.
Oh, you have a young lady there. They're getting the footstool out for the rider of the carriage to get out and be able to exit comfortably. And they're called footmen for a reason. They walk on foot along with the procession. Anyway, it's very interesting, wouldn't you say? Ha ha! Yeah, see ya, Kimmel. Ha ha! Hi, Tammy. Tammy made it. Whiskey's here. Nice to see you. They took me down. Something happened. Now I guess I can try to contact the platform and say, why does this keep happening to me? But I think I know the answer. I don't think it's somebody sitting in Cameroon or on a mountaintop in the Himalayas. I think it's a skinny jean person who's angry about stuff like this right here. Angry. I'm not angry. I'm happy. Politico. Immigration judge orders Mahmoud Khalil deported to Syria or Algeria. Lawyers for the pro-Palestinian activists said they plan to appeal the immigration judge's order, which was revealed in court documents filed Wednesday. Well, I believe Judge Chutkin had that stuck under her nose. And, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, her qualifications for staying in this country are specious, okay? Specious. Here's the article I saw. Let me see, try to put this together. U.S. judge, ABC News, U.S. judge won't intervene in Trump's administration deportations of West Africans to Ghana. A U.S. judge, she says she is powerless to stop the return of men in Ghana's custody to countries where U.S. immigration judges determine they face torture or persecution. I don't believe that, Nicholas Riccardi, okay? I don't know if you have that correct or not. Plus, it's ABC News, okay? And they're dancing on the edge anyway. But let me see the body of the article. I think I got a screenshot of part of it. Let's see what it says here. A U.S. judge said she was powerless. We already know that. Declining to intervene in a victory for the Trump administration. There we go. I know I saw her name somewhere. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkin said that the administration appeared to be... Now, she's making political statements, and she's got no damn business commenting on the UN convention, okay? That's foreign, all right? So, anyway, the UN convention against torture by sending the West Africans to Ghana, but her hands are tied. She should be removed from the bench. She should be removed from the bench. It's none of her business to talk about those such things. We'll get back to these dopey judges in a minute. Right now, we got 3 trials coming up for assassins, murderers, okay? People that sneak up behind people or lay in wait or ambush people. Cowards. Look at them. On September 16th, 3 liberal assassins appeared in court. It is not both sides. That's right. J.D. Vance said, that's enough of that SH and that's it. And that's what he said. It's enough of this crap about both sides. Like Chuck Schumer was saying. What? Where's that thing about Chuck Schumer? I think I got it in here somewhere. Boy, he's about as worthless as windshield wipers on a donkey's butt. Speaking of that, remember the one with the CDC? I didn't want to surrender my integrity. Integrity? Like this, right here? Center for Disease Control, people in charge of our health. Now, here's what's over in the UK, the Telegraph. Trans women's milk as good as breast milk, says National Health whatever. During drug-induced chest feeding liquid, comparable to that of mothers when it comes to baby nourishment, claim hospitals. Your integrity, of course, they retracted that. That should get you up on charges of human experimentation. Okay? Chutkin wants to talk about international crap. We'll talk about that. But listen, Judge Chutkin, you can save that. You can save that for the Gitmo trials, the doctor's trials that I think are coming. I think there's going to be even judges' trials and attorney trials. People that are participating in the subversion of our lawful function of government. Look, what brings this about? Law and crime. I'm sure a lot of you all seen these videos, but I was so taken aback by it, I had to put it up. Florida couple caught with child, PORN, and also had S3X with a dog. Some people do not need to be walking the streets or have children anymore. Get them fixed. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, we're not going to get the highest standards of practice from Judge Chutkin. She's already proved that. We're not going to get the highest legal standards from this individual right here. The wise Latina woman, the DEI hire, the grandmother of DEI hires. The most recent one is Ketanji Brown Jackson. Justice Sotomayor questions if Americans know the difference between presidents and kings. That is a backhanded, tongue-in-cheek slur at the President of the United States. The liberal justice was speaking about the importance of civics education at a conference in New York. What did I say about a bum tooth? More nerve than a bum tooth. Her so-called legal opinions are laughable. They make Justice Thomas's eyes roll when he has to sit and listen to the garbage. This is my feed that was, wait a minute, might not have been this one, wait a minute. Yeah, this is my news feed. ICE threatens federal assault charges against anyone who attacks its officers. Prosecution of full consent law. Good. But they got to put a picture up with somebody with a mask. ICE wrongly tased and detained a U.S. citizen. Was he wrongly tased or was he not cooperating? Because it doesn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen or not. If you're not cooperating with lawful orders, you get your ass tased. Trump's emergency law and order surge results in man what? Another man got detained when he was a citizen. Well, you know when you get pulled over for a ticket, you're detained, all right? People get detained. And sometimes you get a warning and they let you go. Trump officials pressuring federal prosecutors to bring criminal charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Top Trump administration officials are pressuring prosecutors in Virginia to bring charges. You're damn right. But here is where I saw Justice Sonia Sotomayor warns about the poor state of what? You're talking about the intelligence of the American people, the education of the American people. Compared to you, they're not a poor state because we got Donald Trump as president. And then an article about Rudy Giuliani having to pay $1.4 million. Well, they also ordered Trump to pay $470 million and $87 million, and he hadn't paid a damn dime yet. So I'm sure Rudy's fighting the good fight. What else is this one? Immigration judge orders Mahmoud Khalil to be deported to Algeria or Syria, alleging he omitted information from his green card application. Exactly right. And that's when I saw a judge says, can't stop Trump administration's Ghana deportations. Yeah. You go out the easy way, you go out the hard way. It's up to you. Totally up to you. Let's see what this one is. Whoa, what happened? What happened? Let's see. Oh, we're back to Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel faces federal investigation after telling Charlie Kirk suspect Tyler Robinson was MAGA. Misinformation, knowingly using the federal airwaves to transmit misinformation. Departure from the truth. Jimmy Kimmel may face federal investigation after false Kirk comments. Yeah, Jimmy, I hope you're having a good night. Let's see you run your mouth now. Now, here is the crap they're throwing up. Let's do the obligatory, I am sorry what happened to this young man, and I am sorry. He was found hanging. And then I mentioned this the other day, or yesterday, and then there was another middle-aged white person nearby in Mississippi that ended his own life by all indications, just like this young man did. You know, a couple of miles apart, they didn't know each other. Autopsy results expected soon. Well, the medical examiner already said that he had no bruises, no marks, no sign of a struggle. But they're trying to paint it out. Hey, listen to the ABC News. The investigation into the death of a 21-year-old black student discovered hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi remains an active investigation, officials said on Wednesday, as the school's president announced the incident has stoked tensions on campus and stirred up memories of the racist violence of the state Jim Crow era history. The body of the student, identified as DeMartrevion Trey Reed, was discovered by a faculty member on Monday morning hanging from a tree near the pickleball courts on the Cleveland, Mississippi campus. His body had been taken. They leave out where the coroner said there were no injuries, no sign of a struggle, and it appeared to be a suicide. You know what? Aside. No, they want people to start thinking there's going to be some kind of... There are people out there running around lynching people. That's what they want. They want people to think. Anything to stir up garbage. Let's see what kind of garbage this is. The Sun. Oh, FBI probe. Armed queers over Charlie Kirk. Death after group urged violence. There's one right there. Revolution. Got her fists in the air. Revolution. Now, that's the thumbnail. I didn't even get to put that up before my video got blitzed. This was my thumbnail. I guess I'll have to put part 2 on this somewhere and re-enter it into the UTizzle stream if I'm still around. But if something happens, folks, you know I'm on Rumble, right? Mountain Man speaks all one word. Roland, how you doing? Nice to see you. Let's see, anybody else sneak in on me? Ha ha ha. Anyway, I've got here queer resistance, armed queers, and scum. And that's the term Donald Trump used when he was referencing Ilhan Omar. Let me see if this is the truth he put out. Yes, it is. I'm hitting it lucky today. Ilhan Omar's country of Somalia is plagued by a lack of central government control, persistent poverty, hunger, resurgent terrorism, piracy, decades of civil war, corruption, and pervasive violence. 70% of the population lives in extreme poverty and widespread food insecurity. How's the tourism industry doing over? Somalia is consistently ranked among the world's most corrupt countries, including bribery, embezzlement, and a dysfunctional government. All of this, and Ilhan Omar tells us how to run America. Ha ha ha. Wasn't she, P.S., wasn't she the one that married her brother in order to gain citizenship? This is where the term comes in. I put in my thumbnail, and I made sure that's the term the president used. What scum we have in our country telling us what to do and how to do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. That's the same way he signed off on Jimmy Kimmel's review. So, yeah, we have armed queers that I would say are a branch of the outlawed Antifa. Oh, Antifa. And we have scum. Okay. Here's a little blurry. Whoa, was that the New York Post? Yeah. Exclusive founder of Armed Queers Group investigated in Charlie Kirk shooting is a radical trans leftist who advocated violence. And that is a guy that is transitioning to become part of the fairer members of our society. And people that believe that that's possible don't belong in government. Don't belong in positions of power over other people. Oh, here's one guy that put this thing up. 2 men found hanging from tree, totally disassociated. Whoever this Aaron Parnas is, 169,000 views. Horrific Mississippi hangings raise questions as mainstream media, what is he going to say, ignore it? So you want to stoke it up with innuendo and rumors, you jerk. In my opinion, jerk. This is how far it's going around the world. This is Ruski news, okay? There, you see the Ruski writing, right? Who's that? Who's that woman? Who's that guy on the right? Oh, that's George Kirby, a.k.a. George Floyd. See the title of the book, Black Lives Matter. You can buy it in Ruski land. Despite the recent murder of Irina Zarutska, Ukrainian publishers in Lvov are moving forward with a book focused on George Floyd and the concept of white privilege. Ukrainian publishers. The author is Oksana, I ain't even going to try, who suspiciously has yet to comment on the Zarutska incident. One wonders what privilege Irana had, according to Oksana. Yeah, where was her privilege? She had the privilege of going to work and trying to fit in and learn about America and become an American citizen the lawful way, and you see what happened to her. It's real, folks, around the world. Satanism, in my opinion. How about that? Now, this is a little hard to hear, but it needs to be played. In case any of liberals tune into my program. And yes, she does use some strong language. And yes, you probably need earbuds. But here is somebody who voted Democrat all their life, up until she saw what happened to Charlie Kirk and how her former colleagues in the Democrat Party behaved.
I am fucking done with the Democratic Party. You guys are psychotic. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I'm 43 years old, and I've never been more humiliated and embarrassed to be part of something. You guys are the most racist, hateful, bigoted, nasty group of people I've ever had to commingle with. And it's not all, just to be clear, but it's a majority of you guys. The left has lost their goddamn minds. What I've witnessed over the last 72 hours has been an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. You guys want to sit here, you want to abort babies at 9 months, you want to leave the borders wide open. New York City is an absolute disgrace. You have no idea what's going on in Manhattan. It's disgusting. Disgusting. It's not even livable anymore. I can't wait to get out of here. We have people that are getting set on fire in New York City subways, not once, but twice. The stores are being looted. People are being pushed in front of the trains. The streets are filled with piss and weed. And I swear to God, I hope New York City single-handedly flips the entire New York State red. Because I am done. I am done.
She done. She's done. A lot of people are done. Okay? Speaking of done, here's Don Lemons, Mr. Stinkfinger, I call him. Okay? Stinky Finger. He is fortunate enough to have somebody like Piers Morgan invite him onto his television program while he's out on the street like a vagrant trying to do man on the street interviews, and nobody really wants to talk to him. And he also inferred that the libelous claim that Charlie Kirk was hateful to women and black people. But anyway, his ego is so huge, and Piers Morgan doesn't put up with it.
This is what led to you leaving CNN. Let's take a look at the clip.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that.
When you watch that, Don, I happened to be watching that live, and I was like, "Whoa, what did you just say?" If you had a do-over, would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say that?
Okay, Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out,
when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about freedom of speech in America and the response to Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
Not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview. You have invited me on many times, and I tell you, Piers, I know you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels. And so when you said I'm not going to be involved in a panel, I agreed to come on your show. But I thought you would also stick by the subjects that you told me that you were going to talk about.
Just to be clear,
rather than try to ambush me with something.
Just to be clear,
so,
you and I
yes.
haven't. Well, Don, just to be clear, you and I haven't had any conversation about your appearance here. You're talking about my team talking to you.
Yeah, no, and I saw you, Piers, in a restaurant, and I said, hey, Piers, good to see you.
Yeah.
I would come on your show, but I don't do panels.
Right.
And I
you're
said
not
the
on a
same
panel.
thing to your bookers.
There's only one
and
of
so
you,
when
Don.
I asked you, and right. Okay, and so, yes, and I said that's why I agreed to do it. But when you asked me, or when your team asked me what subjects, and I asked them 2 or 3 times, I have the text messages, what do you want to cover?
Yeah.
Not once was CNN mentioned. So I don't appreciate being ambushed. But let me answer your question.
Hang on one second. No, Don, hang on 1 second. Let's just be crystal clear about what's just happened. You brought up the subject of cancel culture. I asked you, did you feel your departure from CNN was an example of that? And you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to talk about it, fine. No, but hang on, no, so sorry. You said what you're going to say. By the way, we don't.
Disingenuous.
Don, we don't edit.
I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching that.
What are you talking about?
And so if you will allow me, please.
What are you
stop
talking about?
Me, okay. Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me?
I think you're
answer
being
the
a complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind or respectful.
I don't like the attack.
Wasn't meant to be kind or respectful. That's exactly right. So, yeah, Piers has his moments. I know. They're all walking a fine line. You know that. Here's a good video right here. Arkansas kids step up and restore vandalized Charlie Kirk Memorial. Talk about affecting people's lives in a positive way. And let's see, I got that video of these young boys. You remember riding bikes when we were kids? Man, you could go for miles and miles, wouldn't bat an eye. But anyway, here they are. Here they come up and see where some ne'er-do-well creepo came up and messed up the memorial. Who's that guy in the red shirt? You better be coming up there to help them, because I was there and seen you bother them kids. One of us would have been picking our rear end off the ground, and I don't think it would have been me. I'm going to take that. I can't stand looking at Ilhan Omar, but so damn much. And hopefully she'll be the next one on a flight to Ghana. What were we told? The first arrest would show the direction, right? That's what we were told. How many minds and hearts has he changed? I would say countless. He's had a worldwide effect. But you all check your collective memories. I read this. Senate declares October 14th National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Check your collective memory, correct me, or inform me. My dusty memory says October 14th. Isn't that the day Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are supposed to testify in front of Congress. Oh, Epstein, I don't know, the Clinton Foundation, huh? Am I right about that? Is that the date of their subpoena? I think I am right about that. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I don't think so. Very interesting. Signs everywhere, the signs. Speaking of signs, Ilhan Omar, they put her up for to censure. That's different than censor. Censure, S-U-R-E, is a punishment just short of being expelled from the House. And 4 Republicans voted not to censure her. Flood, Hurd, McClintock, Mills, Corey Mills, I've heard of him. The other 3 I haven't heard of. So she's off the hook. Congress is a sewer, not a swamp. It's a sewer. I heard a report that there was a deal cut where a quid pro quo. You one hand washes the other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That one or more Republicans, I don't know if it's the ones who made the move or not, were up for censure, but a deal was made. You don't censure me, I won't censure you. So that ought to be looked into. That ought to be looked into, because we're going to have a member of Congress that is, according to me, in concurrence to the President of the United States, is scum who's here on false pretenses in our country, made fun of Charlie Kirk, and nobody does a damn thing about it. I want to ask y'all also, let me see what y'all responded to on the date. Did anybody respond? Sissy said, yes, that's the date. Charlie's birthday, Sissy said. Yeah, but the day that Bill and Hillary are supposed to go to Congress and testify. Very powerful words from Nicole Shanahan. Now, wasn't Nicole Shanahan considered a big liberal? Isn't she the one that she was with Bobby Kennedy and everybody was thinking she was way too liberal to help the MAGA movement and stuff like that? Am I right about that? There's so many things going on and so many different people, their eyeballs are fluttering open. But I believe she was considered a big liberal at one point. But does this sound like she still clings to those beliefs to you?
How liberals described Charlie Kirk is so wrong. It's so vastly wrong that it's insulting to me now that I know who he actually was. And this last 24 hours, I've had a chance to watch video after video. And he's not, they've lied about him in such severe ways that, like, I thought I knew how dark the left was, right? And then yesterday changed a lot for me. And the time since then has changed a lot for me, to the point where there's not a single ounce of me anymore that can excuse any behavior that is celebrating the death of this great man. Because it's all out there now. Like, you have to actually just be willfully full of demonic hate to today cheer for that.
Yeah.
the lies were one thing, but there's a truth being told, and then to still applaud that death in the face of the beautiful truth of who he was. My fiance and I talked yesterday. We were chatting with each other. We're like, this feels like our generation's JFK moment.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to find a character who conducted himself the way Charlie did in the most effective way he did it, right? He was not a Trump sycophant. He was not a sycophant to any particular thing. He was not owned by any party. He was an individual who.
Well, that's where the video cut off, but you can see she definitely does not have the heart of a committed liberal, I'll put it that way, of the contemporary type. What's this? Another thing about Kimmel. Oh, MCU, the Marvel Universe, She-Hulk star, Tatiana Maslany has urged fans to cancel their Disney subscriptions following the company's decision to suspend the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Well, nobody batted an eye when Gina Carano was fired from her job for nothing and sued and won and has her job back fired by Disney. Remember that? Nobody said a thing about that or stood up for her. She had to stand up for herself with the help of Elon Musk with getting attorneys. Here's Donald Trump again. Let's see. Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel Show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers. Jimmy Fallon and Seth, I forget his name, on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President DJT. That's exactly right. Oh my goodness, what's this? What's this one right here? Oh, another one from Donald J. Trump. Yeah. Does Ilhan Omar know these people? Are they from her wonderfully managed home country of Somalia? Lives of TikTok. Breaking. 8 charged with massive Medicaid fraud schemes, which resulted in $8.4 million in stolen Medicaid billings in Minnesota. The individuals charged: Mokhtar Hass, Aden, Mustafa Daib Ali, Khalid Ahmed Dailib, Ifitah Mohammed, Christopher Adjersojai Falad, Emmanuel Oluwaderminiad Falad, Assad Ahmed Adaw, Anwar Ahmed Adaw. You can call me Jimmy. What do you want to bet they're going to get deported too? But Donald Trump, the president of the United States, Elian, oh, do you know these people? You getting any money? Maybe she'll be the first arrest and deportation. And that will show us the direction that we're going to be heading. Roseanne Barr. responding to David Frum, who said, trying to imagine the reaction if the Biden administration had demanded that Fox fire Greg Gutfeld because he wasn't sufficiently sad about the assault on Paul Pelosi. Roseanne Barr said, yeah, imagine an administration putting pressure on a television channel to fire a comedian they didn't like. When that's exactly what happened to Roseanne Barr. And you know what? That's another example how the media flips the script. The Paul Pelosi attacker was married to an individual who was helping Nancy Pelosi organize gay pride parades where they ran around naked and probably still do. Considered themselves part of the alphabet community and lived in a commune with BLM signs all around it. And God knows what he was doing there. But somehow they have blamed Donald Trump for their filthy associations and the consequences of their associations with mentally unstable people somehow is Donald Trump's fault. And they're victims. Stephen L. Miller. I don't know, man. I kind of care more about Charlie Kirk losing his life than Jimmy Kimmel losing his late night therapy show. The reaction I'm seeing out of our media proves they care about the opposite. And that's why the political right is done caring. There's a saying. It's that the absence of love is indifference. The absence of love is indifference. So maybe it's time to get indifferent to them. Because they have no love. Who's this? This is somebody, let's see. Speaking of the absence of love, this fossil, this relic of liberal media. Listen how he spins, how his spin works.
Now that we can say with some certainty that if Tyler Robinson indeed shot Charlie Kirk, he shot him for personal reasons because he saw Kirk as a direct threat to somebody he loved. That Robinson was not a stochastic proxy murderer from Antifa or the Groypers or the right-wingers who had so recently called Kirk a fraud, like Laura Loomer. It is then also clear that there is truly only one person whose words created, amplified, mainstreamed, and manufactured this nightmarish environment that has led to Charlie Kirk's death. The leading threat in this country, in this moment, to the safety and the lives of conservatives and Republicans and MAGA commentators and politicians and civilians is not George Soros, and it's not Antifa, and it's not a Democrat, nor a liberal, nor a socialist, nor an immigrant, nor a transgendered person. The leading threat in this country, in this moment, to the safety and the lives of conservatives and Republicans and MAGA is Donald Trump. The individual who's done the most to put the lives and welfare of all of us directly and also by his perverted lead and demonic inspiration of others is Donald Trump. The America in which Charlie Kirk was murdered, the America in which Melissa and Mark Hortman were murdered, the America in which Paul Pelosi was beaten, the America in which Donald Trump himself was shot, is Donald Trump's America. More of my commentary on that, and my thanks to Kash Patel for again relighting the Trumpstein fire yesterday on the all-new Thursday Countdown podcast.
See how he is? All their talking points. Remember, I was saying they're using that term in this moment, in this moment. How many times he said? At least twice. And Kamala Harris, that was her battle cry, because they're trying to create a sense of urgency. What are we going to do in this moment? And also, he blamed on MAGA The Paul Pelosi beating, when I just gave you the details on that, where MAGA didn't have a damn thing to do with it. And all the other things he spouted off about that were supposedly by MAGA. And any sane person knows they're flipping the script and mirroring. They're pointing the finger at us when they should be pointing it at themselves. Clandestine said, this push to convince the public that the shooter was MAGA is not innocent free speech. You listening, Keith Olbermann? It's part of a highly coordinated propaganda campaign as part of a broader regime change operation against Trump. This is not random. This is a continuation of the treasonous plot against America. And I believe myself that the judges are in tune with this operation and that they're working on their lawfare division of this insurrection, this insurgency. Okay? And one thing that they're building on is jury nullification. Watch what happens with these three assassins. The Dems, MSN, are knowingly feeding the public outright lies and disinformation to obfuscate their complicity in the murder of Charlie Kirk and to paint Trump supporters as violent. They are knowingly manipulating the masses with lies in an attempt to hold on to their stranglehold of public perception and deflect blame from their hateful and violent rhetoric. Exactly. I concur 100%. What's this one? Oh, it goes on to say the reality of what's going on is more complex and sinister than just, quote, free speech. We are quite literally engaged in psychological information warfare. As Trump said, illegal psychological warfare campaigns. And the mind of every human on earth is under attack. The Dems, mainstream media, are intentionally brainwashing the planet for political gain under the guise of free speech and free press. They are engaged in an Orwellian mind control operation. They like the Constitution when it suits them, but will violate the Constitution when it suits them. We are up against an enemy who does not play by the rules. Exactly right. That's remember when I played that thread? I read that thread about a young person who got fired from their job. And they were saying, I deleted it. I'm sorry. I want my job back. I need my job. I'll never do it again. And the boss just sent one thing back. You can't rebuild your trust. Turn in your uniforms, which tells you the person was in a service industry, lower rung job, probably needed, 19 years old? They get pummeled with incessant targeted news stories, professionally crafted headlines. And as far as I'm concerned, that young person got abused and paid the price, unfortunately. I feel bad for people like that. And hopefully they will. It was just before Charlie got assassinated. But hopefully it'll be a learning experience where that person will turn their life around and come out better for it. Here's a post from Charlie Kirk from 2017. Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny. That's rather prophetic, is it not? If I could talk to that young person who lost their job And I'm sure it was less than a prideful thing to do, put it on social media for everyone to see, begging for your job back, swearing you'll never do it again. I would say go get a CDL license. Go get a commercial driver's license. Because you got people that you walk up to them and they go, and this one, what did he say? He said he's a truck driver. They're all getting thrown out. There'll be great opportunities for you to learn a trade. Wouldn't it be funny if somewhere down the line that young person actually did hear what I had to say? And you don't have to get stuck doing that. It's a fallback. It's a skilled fallback that pays very well. Here you got Chuck the Schmuck Schumer. Look at him. It's repulsive that the Trump administration is perversely using this awful death as a predicate to supercharge their long-standing campaign against political opponents. How low can they go? My God. You know, I had to get some comments from the viewers. I'll copy the comments. And thank God, most of them were this. Same guy that said we were going to reap the whirlwind. Did I go too far? They didn't say anything when Roseanne Gina Carano got fired. There's assault on democracy. Democracy? Is that where the rulers of a party completely disregard over 15 million of the subjects' votes and install a puppet they choose despite the fact she received 0 votes? I was very heartened to see comments like this flooding Chuck Schumer's little BS there. Those words are really helpful in the current climate. Says the party that uses the same events to push constitutional firearm laws. The hypocrisy. Your side killed to sit down and talk it out, guy. Don't cry now that you have to deal with the rest of us. Very good, William McLaughlin. And this lone wanderer said, true, but Chuck is part of the problem. That's a kind of a mediocre, but at least it's not a knee-jerk liberal response. Here's Midas Trash Mail again. The mindset of these people. Diane Patterson, as I always say, I can smell the Febreze, box wine, and kitty litter from here. Why are there so many people being censored over the Kirk dialogues? You call this stuff dialogue? Dialogue? Is this just more smoke screens and prep for Trump's machine to bully people out of the righteous censorship in his censoring his involvement with Epstein, which is non-existent and you all ignored for 10 years? Free speech? Ha! Someone killed Epstein to block blackmail and free speech. Only free speech ensures a country that is held accountable. How dysphoric and disconnected from political reality can you be? Conservatives were being censored on every damn platform, Twitter, Facebook, everything. I'm getting nailed right now on UTizzle. You all know that. They're a very powerful psychological warfare campaign, but it works even better when you have smooth brains. Did I already read this? I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots. Yeah. I copied this twice. A sick, dangerous, radical left disaster. A major terrorist organization. Yeah. Well, the funders, George Soros. And if I wouldn't get a copyright strike, I'd play Hold On, I'm Coming. Oh, this is a response from Matt Walsh to Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann said, burn in hell, Sinclair, alongside Charlie Kirk. This was right when he put out that video that I just played. Isn't that nice to say somebody burn in hell alongside Charlie Kirk? Yeah. Matt Walsh said, Keith, you're already living in hell. Old, unemployed, irrelevant. Fired from every job you ever had. Unmarried and childless. Spending your final years alone. Shitposting into the void. Begging to be noticed. When you die, you will leave behind no legacy, and there will be nobody to mourn you or even remember that you existed. Truly, I would rather be dead than live your life. I cannot imagine the misery that you feel every second of the day, and you deserve all of it. Way to go, Matt Walsh. Way to go, Matt Walsh. I might have a video of Matt Walsh. Let me see. I don't know. I'm looking here. If I got it, I'll pop it up there. How's everybody doing in the chats? Oh, yeah, we need a complete review of the teachers and the judiciary and people that call themselves officers of the court. The law profession. Ha ha, Roland feels needy. Yeah, I got to make something to eat. Hi, Kim. Ha, yeah, I'm glad everybody's happy. That's good. That's good. Let's see. What? Oh, somebody asked, let me play this clip first. I might have 2 copies of the clip. Which one is this? This one might be where Trump said we're going to get back. We're shooting to get back the base in Afghanistan. I think this is it.
They just went through the Afghanistan total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. And we're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. So a lot of things are happening.
Oh, yeah. A lot of things are happening. Trump can do 10 things at one time while they're thinking about doing one thing. They're just thinking about doing one thing. Here, I didn't get this little clip because you can barely hear it. And Citizen Free Press explains it very nicely. Oh, no, I got this clip. Sadiq Khan wasn't at a state dinner because I didn't want him there. You hear a lot of engine noise. But there was another clip that was about 11 seconds where he said to the press, I hope you all have a safe flight. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I'm on board too. If I wasn't on board, I could care less. So apparently they've been misbehaving, right? Anyway, here's Trump talking about Sadiq Khan. And, you know, if the UK would enforce their own laws, he probably doesn't have a right to be in that country either. I don't know. I know we got a lot of people in positions of power in our country who should not even be in this country.
State visits, spectacular, right. And yet the Mayor of London can't be there.
I don't want him there. I asked that he not be there. I don't want them. I think the Mayor of London, Khan, is among the worst mayors in the world. And we have some bad ones. If you look at Chicago, if you look at... But I think he's the equivalent of the mayor of Chicago. I think he's done a terrible job. Crime in London is through the roof. The mayor of London, Mayor Khan, has done a terrible job. And on immigration, he's a disaster. No, I asked that he not be there. He wanted to be there, as I understand. I didn't want him. I've not liked him for a long time. I just think, you know, I have a certain pride in London and UK. My mother was born in Scotland, as you know. And when I see Mayor Khan do a bad job, the stabbings and the dirty...
Yeah, the mayor of Chicago is just as bad as Khan. Khan! But he didn't want him there. He wanted to be there. Yeah, with that mouth and the terrible things you said about Trump, I'll have Keith Olbermann tell you to go to hell. He does that real good. What's this clip? Let me see. I don't even know. Is this Katie Tur? Oh, this is Chuck Schumer with Katie Tur. I heard Katie Tur's father was a furry. I'll have to find that post. Her father was a furry, allegedly. But here's Chuck Schumer with his garbage.
Senator Schumer, your reaction to this?
It is outrageous. It's a page right out of Xi's playbook. This is just despicable, disgusting, and against democratic values. Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear. That is not what democracies do. That is what autocracies do. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with Kimmel or not. He has the right to free speech. And so it is just outrageous. It is indicative of autocracy. And I am just outraged by it. Again, this is what dictators do. This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do. We are not that country.
You're going to end up like Keith Olbermann. Nobody's going to give a damn about you or your legacy. You'll probably get some kind of setup like Bob Mueller got. Bob Mueller. In some kind of confined situation for a long period of time, namely the rest of your life. Anyway, I'm going to put up this video with Roseanne Barr with Jimmy Kimmel back in the day before she, I guess, got unceremoniously dumped. But this was when Trump was in his first term, and she's trying to take up for Trump. So I'll try to put in a few words or whatever. But anyway, here we go.
What happened to the rest of our candy?
Funny story. Our insurance don't cover what it used to, so I got half the drugs for twice the price.
What are we supposed to do?
Well, tradesies. I'll trade you 5 of my statins for 5 of your anti-inflammatories, and I'll sweeten the pot by throwing in a couple of blood pressures.
Did you get the pain pill?
Man, well, that's the sunshine, babe.
There it is. It's the real house. It's still there. When you walked onto the set, was that an emotional experience, seeing that set for the first time in so long?
I can't. I've looked for the words for it, and I just can't find them. It's weirder than deja vu. It's like we took a 2-week break and came back after 20 years.
Just like that.
But I was so much older.
Yeah.
During that
it was
time,
just like no time. It was like a wormhole or something.
It's been 20 years, right?
Uh-huh.
You ran for president during that time?
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, I do want to say, you were kind of the original crazy tweeter running for president.
Yeah, Trump totally stole my act.
He stole that from you, yeah.
I ran my whole campaign on Twitter in 2012. And you know what's weird, Jimmy? It's really hard to get on the ballot on account of, corruption and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I was only allowed on 3 state ballots, okay? 3 states, California, Colorado or something, and and Florida, okay? Okay, 3 state ballots. I still came in 6th.
By the way, 2 of those states legalized marijuana.
Corruption and stuff. She brought up corruption. Now they're going to talk about legalized marijuana. That's going to get a lot of claps from everybody. But it'll get to where she's talking about Trump here in a bit.
Marijuana for recreational use afterwards.
I know. I ran on the legalization of marijuana. Absolutely.
Who would have ever guessed marijuana would be so popular?
And I've been paying women hush money for years.
Now, one of the things on the show, which I know, like a lot of the television critics got very excited about this, the fact that Roseanne Connor is a Trump supporter on the show.
Well, she did vote for the president.
She voted for the president.
Yep, she did.
And she, and that is part of, I don't want to give anything away, but that's part of the dynamic with you and your family on that show. Now,
yeah, and in real life. It's like everybody's family is pissed off at each other for one thing or the other.
Is your family mad at you?
Well, you know, we had some pro-Hillarys and some pro-Trump, and there was a lot of fighting.
Weren't you a friend of, like a good friend of Hillary Clinton's at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
You were.
Yeah.
And what happened that, now I know you're very, very down on her. What happened?
Down on her?
Well, I think you accused her of being a murderer on Twitter, didn't you?
I did not. Yeah.
And you know I'm going to find that tweet in the next 40 seconds, right?
She gave him the finger. She said she deleted the tweet where she called Hillary a red rummer. Yeah. How many is Hillary's body count? My God.
So that tweet that you never tweeted and then deleted.
I had some disagreement with her foreign policy.
I see, with her foreign policy. And you like Trump?
Yeah, she had one.
I can see that. Dan's character is not...
Did you agree with her foreign policy?
Listen, never mind her foreign policy. How about Captain Wacko we got running the country here? I mean, foreign policy... I'm shocked because I know you were a very liberal, socially liberal person in general. I mean,
I'm still the same. You all moved.
We did?
You all went so far out, you lost everybody. I mean, seriously.
You're probably right, by the way.
A lot of your audience, and including me, I just want to say this, Jimmy. A lot of us, you know, no matter who we voted for, we don't want to see our president fail.
Right.
You know?
Right. I know.
Because we don't want Pence.
And yet we've seen it over again.
You want Pence? You want Pence for the friggin' president?
No, I don't want him either.
Well, then zip that lip.
What was this, about 7 or 8 years ago? 7 or 8 years ago? And he's calling Trump a failure. Well, this must have been before COVID. Yeah, because they're not wearing masks. Had been a good while ago.
This is kind of what the show is like, by the way.
I was bad again.
But you did really hit upon something great, I think, in that you've got this dynamic that real people are really experiencing, where parts of their family are on one side and the other parts, and now it's not like we just kind of overlook it like we used to.
I know, like when Trump won, you know, my whole family was with me because that's around my birthday.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she'll probably get really mad at me for saying this, but one of my daughters, she will remain nameless. I mean,
You should give her a name already. I mean, really.
Because he can narrow it down.
Well, I have 3 daughters.
Right, okay.
And they're all in their 40s, you know.
Right.
And so the one daughter, she just started weeping. And she's like, this is the end of our, you know, they're going to deport all of our gays and all this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, just chill. Just chill, you know? Try to think positive for, like, why people wanted to change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to the people. Here's my 2 cents, damn it.
Okay.
It's up to us to make this government work, no matter who's president. It's up to us to do our jobs as citizens, and if we don't like something, you know, let them know you don't like it, and then you got another election in 2 years, get out there and vote. Change it if you don't like it.
That's very good. I mean, you can't argue with that. What
I'm
if, you know,
getting so
Trump?
much
What?
trouble.
No, you're not getting in trouble.
I'm not?
I think,
Okay.
listen, you're expressing your views as crazy as they may be.
Well, they must have listened to Roseanne because 81 million of them went out there and voted for Joe. Remember that, folks? 81 million. I want to show you all something that'll make you sick. Other than that thing I'm covering up right now. Here's a citizen expressing his opinion in Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn Mayor Abdullah Hamoud to a resident. You do not belong in this city. Islamophobe. Get out. The resident opposed naming a street in Dearborn after pro-jihad Osama Siblani. So they're renaming streets after people we don't even know who the hell they're talking about in America. And this guy, that is a jihadist. And this guy said what he said. He's being told to get out of his own hometown.
I mean, Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
Can't coexist with jihadists. Anybody with a brain knows that. Anybody with a brain. But as we've learned, these people don't have brains. They're very limited in their intellectual skills. So, let me see what this report is here since things are going smoothly, I'm going to, this is Andy No. Coexist. Andy No has been abused. Judges have let people off the hook that have beaten this man senseless, and I'm glad he gets to say his side of the story. And if it wasn't for places like Newsmax or Elon Musk buying Twitter, we'd never hear about it. The regular population would never hear about it.
In 2019, whilst covering a protest in Portland, Oregon, where I'm originally from, Rose City Antifa and their allies and I would say co-conspirators beat me to prevent me from documenting their riot. They stole my equipment and in the process punched me several times on my face and head and kicked me to the where I fell partially to the ground. And some of them were wearing reinforced gloves that had hardened material on the knuckles so that each punch hit like a brick, literally. So I was taken to the hospital by ambulance, and there was a brain scan. I had a brain bleed. So I nearly died from that, and I spent 6 months with various types of cognitive and physical therapies because of the brain injury. And then in 2021, I returned to Portland to cover some of the one-year anniversary riots related to after George Floyd died, and they suspected it was me, and I tried escaping, but they tackled me to the ground beat me very severely, ripped a tendon in my knee, and I was hospitalized for that. So I've had a lot of up-close violence with them, in addition to dozens and dozens of death threats over the years, other attempts on my life that have been reported to the Portland police, and I had to leave Portland, Oregon because of the threats of violence and nothing happening.
Yeah, how many of these animals went to jail? How many of these animals went to jail? That you saw on the screen abusing that man. Babylon B, I hope it's not a joke. After Antifa designated a terrorist organization, Trump orders drone strikes on Portland. Ha ha ha, goodbye Portland. Something needs to be done in Portland. What's this about? Oh, 48 of Trump's appointments were approved by Congress today.
On this vote, the yeas are 51 and the nays are 47, and the nominations en bloc are confirmed. Thank you.
This is big, folks. They're going to move into their positions. Trump has gone over half a year, and the Democrats have blocked every one of his nominations of consequence for half a year, and it's going to be Katie bar the door. You thought we were making progress. We're going to take off like a rocket once these nominees get in there. I'm going to play this young man for you. What do I always say when I sign off? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And just another example of how Charlie Kirk touched people's lives. How any of us, with courage and conviction, can touch the lives of others also. Sincerity in your beliefs. But I want to thank you again for spending your precious time with me. I hope you enjoy this clip. I should be broadcasting again tomorrow night. We shall see. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. So hopefully I will see you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
You know, I don't come from any kind of money, and I've never owned a suit before. My wife, she bought me this suit. Our anniversary's coming up, and we have a nice anniversary plan. You know, we make a little bit of money now, and I'm proud to say that because that's certainly not where either one of us comes from. And I feel good in this suit, man. And I just want my wife to know she made me feel good. It's a $300 suit. I ain't never had nothing like this before in my life. And I tell you what, okay, video flip here, so I'm gonna lose some of you. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, never met that guy before in my life. And something else that I've never done before in my life is believe in God. I'm gonna wear this suit to church. I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to try to be a better father, husband, and leader for my family. They deserve that. My phone fell down. I guess that's the devil trying to fuck me up right, or mess me up right now. I'm gonna try, y'all. Look at this suit. I look good, bro. My wife made me feel this way. Charlie's made me feel this way. Yeah, message over.